this one. Hey, we got double live happening right now. So those of you who don't know, we're live here on Third Wheel, and we're also live streaming on Paulajanenewman's YouTube channel. So I thought, here we are. This is the show, Whiskey and Pajamas. It's late night, and this will be a great time for those people who are following me also, for me to do a little bit of personal comedy, riff comedy, and we've had a lovely host who's just talked about feeling comfortable in your pajamas and being able to open up. And what I've been able to do in my onesies is completely open it up. I have split the onesie in half, right? I don't know why I decided to wear clothes under my onesie for my pajamas, but I did, and so now we get to see my backside. So I'm opening up and telling stories. If you're there on your live and you want me to do some certain jokes, I will. We got a couple of people there. Hello. It's very interesting when people say, I don't do drugs, but I take edibles. Like, it's a drug. It's still a drug. It's like people saying, I don't do sugar, but yet they still do a lot of maple syrup and agave, right? I don't really know how anyone is going to cope after these elections because it's still going to be very stressful. I want you to know that last year I did predictions. I did predictions that Trump would win. Sorry to tell you. I also predicted there would be an assassination attempt. I actually predicted Putin would be assassinated, and that hasn't happened yet, but you know, early days. Back home in England, people are asking if I was responsible for Trump getting in, like, did you vote for Trump? And I was like, you don't understand the system at all. Like, you think that my vote would make a difference in California, first of all. And second of all, I don't do X's. So I'm not voting Trump back because they have not learned their lesson. You want to come back to me? Well, you've got to prove that you're doing something different. And here we have it this week, that they're not doing anything different with Gaza at all. Nothing at all is changed. And so all the people that decided to vote for Trump to make it different for Gaza, I don't know why you would think you're being duped, because this is who you voted for, right? This is the personality of this person. So I wouldn't think that would make any difference. But in the UK, we don't really understand the American system. I know that you don't understand our system. Our system involves different kinds of houses of parliament, and lots of rebuttal back and forth. It's basically a comedy roast with lots of wah, 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 wah. Well, the Honourable Lord said. I mean, that's all it is. That is the only difference. I'm going to be going back to the UK, and it's going to be a while since I was there. And most of you will know that I'm a hybrid. I was raised in the UK, and then I moved to America. So that means that I am prone to gingivitis, but I'm also bound to be obnoxious. People in England assume that America is Texas, which means everyone has really big cars, everyone is really wide, and everyone likes their flags. And I can't say that they're completely wrong, because only someone in America would have been able to design the Cybertruck. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. Have you seen these trucks going by, the Cybertrucks? Yeah, the only people I know who like them are 8-year-olds. And that's because the thing looks like an oversized toy. Right? I mean, it looks like one of the kids' toys just gone big. Who's here in live? Who's talking to me? We have some people. Ah, hello. He's from Africa, you big tooth tea drinker. What? Props for getting up there, but political isn't funny. Who is Spoolbar? Spoolbar! Is that you? Are you Spoolbar at the on, who's sport? Radon, in demand, Youssef, Salam. This is really fascinating. Who is up here? Political isn't funny. I love it. Okay, keep going. I'm going to talk to you. So, her, Casa. I don't know what you're saying. Apart from Raiden.
Just do your bit.
I like you, Raiden.
Just do your bit, though. You're on live over here, too.
Okay, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Everybody can have fun. My time is my time, right?
Yes, you just go on with your...
Exactly. So there we go. So I'm going back to England because my stepdad is turning 80 years old. And he's 80, it's the last week of December, beginning week of January, and I just found out that it is the worst time to do comedy. So I'm hoping that he lives a long life, gets dementia, so I can just change his date. And when I get there, everyone back home is very particular about how I speak. You know, for the first 10 years, I'd get back and people would say, sound very American. And I'd be like, oh, I'm doing my best British accent. And if you all want to know how to do a great British accent, this is the answer. You talk very quickly, you go up and down all the time, and you just criticize things. If you want to do an American accent, you slow down, you talk monotone, and everything is awesome. Even if it's a bad economy, it's still awesome and you have way more positivity than if you come up in England. Oh, I got my light now, so that's my last minute. I will tell you that when I moved to this country, most of the time, people would assume that I was Australian. And I used to be mad about that. But now I'm not, because, you know, I too have a body that looks like it can't break dance. All right, that's my time for tonight. We're going to come back with the host and we're going to start talking some pajamas and whiskey. You want me to move this here? Like this? Okay, I just sit here. Yes? Is that right? Oh, I sit there? You take the mic? Okay, I don't know what you're doing. It's all right.
Hello. All right, thank you. How do you guys like her set? Talking about politics, British against USA. So interesting. It really is interesting. I don't know much about it myself. Can you turn on? Hello? Oh, thank you. Thank you much. How are you guys feeling tonight? You guys doing good? All right, and this is our first panelist, Paula.
Hello.
Hello, Paula. Tell us a little bit. You can either talk about your own or you can spin the wheel. Which one do you prefer?
Oh, let's spin the wheel. I like that. That sounds like fun. Oh, I get to do it.
Okay, just spin.
Whee!
What do we have? Oh,
Okay, what is it?
I don't know.
Oh, whiskey.
you have any whiskey fears? Any whiskey stories you have up your sleeve?
Whiskey stories.
Yeah.
Yes. When I used to drink, I would have some eggnog with my whiskey.
Eggnog? No way.
Yes.
You could put. Whoa, interesting.
Holiday season, people like to have eggnog and put whiskey in it. I did it the other way around. I put eggnog in my whiskey.
Oh my gosh, that's an interesting flavor, I wonder. I love whiskey in my hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate whiskey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whiskey is pretty good for hot toddy.
Apple whiskey though, not like, it's like a different flavor whiskey. There's different whiskeys, I guess.
Yeah, there are.
Lots of different.
Yeah, there's like Scotch and then there's bourbon.
Right, those two, yeah.
Very American. Bourbon.
Very, yeah. Actually, isn't from Scotland.
No, it's Scotland has a kind of finish and it has like, it's a Scotch.
Scotch.
Yeah, it's Scotch. Why else do we don't need to give it no more names because it's Scottish and that's enough. Anything else is crap.
Yes, that's Scottish accent.
That's true.
Oh, I like your Scottish accent. What other accents can you do?
I don't know, ask one and I'll see how badly I can do it.
Can you do Irish?
Ireland now, like we do Ireland, you have to be careful there because you can go there to Scotland if you're not careful. But just got to keep your R's going if you go to Ireland. And everything is grand there.
Alright, what about Scouse?
Liverpool. I do a scouser, you've got to talk more like in your nose, but have a candling that might end up in burning.
That sounds just like a scout. And they talk, and sometimes they have like the really strong scouts, and I don't know what they're saying. Like,
Yeah, that's right, because we down in the south don't know what they're saying
what
either.
are you saying? Yeah, like they want to go to the toilet, or they say something. I'm like, what? I hear the loo, so I get the toilet.
Yes,
The loo, but they say it differently.
Yeah, they probably call it the fork.
Yes.
Because it's
So
classy
it's
like
not
that.
a loo. Okay, so it's not the loo.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I know a little bit about England. What's another accent? I don't know.
I don't know, anyone else here got another accent to yell out?
English.
No, Susie, it was a beer accent, you mean a beer can.
Oh, German.
German.
Ah, ja. Zwei, drei, vier, fünf, sechs, sieben, acht, neun, zehn. Sprechen Sie Deutsch ein bisschen.
Oh.
Und das ist alles, ja.
And what about Polish? Do you know Polish? That's a different kind of
Polish,
accent.
with the Eastern European accent. More, I start to get into Russia.
Russian.
Very quickly, we go to Russia.
But they don't sound the same.
No, they don't.
Russian and
Apparently they
Polish.
do when I do it.
You gotta blend those together.
Yeah, I've got to work more on the Polish.
Polish.
Where's that Polish sausage?
Polish, yes. I love the Polish. They have really good snacks. The chocolate covered plums. Have you had those?
No.
So good, so good. So delicious. So let's get to it. So you're a comedian. And tell us a little bit about it. Like, how did you get into comedy? What got you into comedy?
Well, thank you for asking. I got into comedy because I had to, not because I wanted to.
Oh,
I don't anyone's sanity who still does comedy. I did it for a year and then I quit. I quit because there was too much misogyny at an open mic and there were inappropriate jokes, and I thought, why am I wasting my time doing this when I was helping to raise a child?
So you're a mom at the same time.
Yeah, so I was like, that's a bit much, so I stopped.
Okay.
I was like, I'm not doing this no more. And then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And in COVID, I started my wellness non-profit, and I knew everyone needed to laugh. We needed to breathe, and we needed to laugh.
Right.
And so I hosted an international Zoom comedy show,
Mm-hmm.
and I did a few bits, and then people were like, you need to keep doing this. And I said, no, I'm not going to become famous. I'm not going to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning and do like 1 minute spots for the Comedy Store. I don't have a gazillion, I'm not 22.
Yeah.
Right, I don't want to do that. And they said to me, okay, but you still haven't answered the question. Why are you not going to do? And I was like, what? And they were like, no, do your next show. And so I did another show, and I did a fundraiser, and it was for the comedy, and I hosted and I did it, and the next day they said the same thing. And then I fought it, and the more I started to do comedy with my chronic pain, my body started to heal.
Interesting.
Right?
Laughing and making other people laugh. Heal your body?
Actually, what it was, I know it sounds weird, is that every time I would go to prepare a set, like a proper full set, not like our shenanigans for Subi, I would go through such intense anxiety. And I would like be in my room for like hours, like working the set. Even though dyslexia is mainly written, it also comes out in how I speak. Sometimes I get words mixed up with my speech, and so I have to really, really work hard. Now, I have a degree and I went to one of the best drama schools, and so it was really different. And I've done a load of improv, but now doing this for a comedy set, and I would have such and then I get up and then I do it. And I would notice, even though it felt like I was traumatized going through it, it was actually healing some of my CPTSD. So there's complex post-traumatic stress disorder, which is very hard to diagnose, but pretty much everyone on the planet has it. And so I kept doing it, and then I was noticing that I was literally going from somebody before the pandemic who lived in so much chronic pain, I could only do a few hours of work. The medical field is basically muscular, so it's really hard to work on, and I've had it for 20 plus years, and so suddenly people started to see this person who was like flat on the couch, beginning to go back to what I was before I got hurt.
That's a good story.
And
Awesome.
so I finally surrendered.
Right.
I surrendered. I was like, I suppose I'm supposed to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started to fuse the wellness of it, and then helping teach other people comedy from scratch about speaking your truth, not necessarily set up punch, like, because there are so many genius people who can do that, who are not me.
Right.
I do that and put on a show with wellness. So it's about more speaking your truth, and it's really important that you have someone who you love or care about in the audience, because then the stakes are higher.
Okay.
And you feel like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like, I'm literally going to die.
Yeah.
And then you do it and you're caught.
Okay.
And unlike like when we were kids, everyone has this, you're not caught.
Yeah.
And so now you're retraining the neurological pathways. So that's how, and that's why I keep doing it. And the reason why I go to different countries is because I want to travel and do that. But also it then puts me like under the fire to get ready for, like, I've got to shift my brain into a completely different culture.
Sure.
And it doesn't mean I become like this brilliant, hilarious person. No, but I'm doing it for another spiritual wellness point of view.
Gotcha. So you see comedy as a spiritual wellness journey?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mental health issues in people that do comedy. I mean, I don't get me wrong, it's a friggin' minefield out here. And that's just me and, squishy here. But for me, for that point of view, yeah.
Right. Awesome. Thank you that's actually very insightful. Thank you for sharing. That's really, I don't know if people really put the two together as a comedians don't really look at it as a mental health thing. Comedians they are mental health messes, a lot of them, they have their own traumas and their own shame and hurt and pain, and that's what that kind of executes the joke that makes people laugh, because you're talking about things that a lot of people can relate, and they're like, oh my God, that's hilarious, or that's funny, but that's real. So yeah, I think comedy has a lot to do with truth and in a lot of ways too. It's just, I don't know if comedians will admit to that, but thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. I know all comedians, like, more and more people just talk about mental health issues. The challenge is, though,
they don't see it that way.
Yeah, well, I'll say this is what I feel. Okay. Here we go. It's turning very serious, isn't it?
Go ahead, because we only have a couple more minutes. We need to go to the next comedian, but go ahead. What's your last idea?
My last thought is, barring a thought, mental diagnosis, the biggest cause of bringing on mental illness is stress. And the biggest cause of stress is that when we're younger and we're raised that we're supposed to assimilate into a culture, be a certain way, look a certain way, to pay the bills so you'll be okay, rather than actually spending time nurturing the child for who they are. And that the biggest cause, I think, of a lot of mental illness is that no one's really been taught when they were younger what your true talents and who you are and how you are supposed to give to the world beyond monetary means. Because some people are supposed to uphold the world by being entertainers, other people are supposed to be accountants. And as we get closer and closer to AI taking over jobs, when we're going to got a whole culture that our identity is based on basically, as women, do you look hot, or men, do you look a certain way, or can you make money by getting a job? As that starts to get taken away, and mental health issues are going to get worse unless we actually start looking at what we are as a human soul being when we come into this world, and what we're supposed to be doing to help the betterment of the world and the planet.
That's so true. Thank you. That's a very good, solid point. I think that's a lot of issues we have with getting jobs and things like that, because we're looking in the wrong direction, because we're not really looking for the jobs that fit our skills. But then on the other hand, like you said, we have to find jobs and like fit this formula of what we're supposed to do and just be robots and just work. That's a very true statement. All right, well, thank you. Is there any last lesson that you learned? You want to tell the audience that your last lesson you learned as a comedian? How long have you been a comedian?
I used to do a total of like 4 years.
Okay, so 4 years. So what is like your most, in a sentence, like what have you learned and gained the most from it? Experiences and stuff.
I would say this. Okay, here we go. Adult audiences, the adult market, the audiences are dishonest.
Okay.
Which is why you can never gauge whether you're going to hit it or you're going to miss it. Because you don't know if they're not laughing because they don't want to look good, you don't know if they've drunk too much or what's going on. The only honest audiences you ever get are kids. So if you want to know material is really true, then you do it to children.
All right, well that sounds solid. All right, well thank you so much, Paula.
You're welcome. Thank you for having
Awesome.
me.
Thank you. We're gonna call up the next comedian. He is funny. He is hilarious.
Thank you for joining. Bye.
Are you from LA?
Yeah, sure.